the laziest person in your office is going to get promoted over you, and it is your fault. Remember back in the time of school when sometimes you get a very good grade even though you didn't study? That was the best, wasn't it? And what used to be the worst? Getting a bad grade even though you studied a lot. Well, that is so unfair. Well, that feeling of unfairness is still haunting you right now. You see, right now in our adult life, we still have a mental model that expects fairness everywhere, including in our professional careers. And this may be the reason you still don't have as much money or recognition as you would like. To understand this, let's first think about what this expectation of fairness does to you. It is exactly why your blood boils when that colleague who barely works gets promoted over you. It is so unfair, isn't it? Well, this happens because you are stuck in a mental trap called the effort heuristic. Effort heuristic. You have to abandon the illusion that working hard guarantees a reward. To understand how this trap works, there is a classic study by psychologist Justin Kruger. I'll put the link here for the source for you. And there were people asked to take a look at a poem and rate it. When the participants were told that the author of the poem spent 18 hours writing that poem, they said, wow, it's quite brilliant. But when they were told that the exact same poem only took 4 hours to write, they rated it as just average. You see, our brains automatically assume that if somebody suffered more, the result must be more valuable. Since kids, we were trained to think that suffering equals value. Whether getting good grades at school or getting paid by the hour, we were taught that working hard automatically results in a reward. We believe that there is a certain kind of a cosmic fairness. If we suffer enough, we are guaranteed to succeed. But, the world is not like that. The market does not care about fairness or how hard you work. The market only cares about results. If you just wait to see, why certain people work much less than you do and still get results, you have to stop playing the game of effort. You have to start playing the game of outcomes. Stop treating your exhaustion as a badge of honor. I am completely aware there are toxic work environments out there. Some companies actually expect to see you pretending to work hard. If you are stuck in one of those toxic environments, you need to consider improving your skills to upgrade yourself to a better company. But the example I'm giving you is for a healthy, effective company to work for. Well, in a healthy company, the moment your work is already delivering the results that you have to deliver, any extra time you're spending on that task is just wasted time. You're basically punishing yourself for being efficient because you're terrified of looking lazy, of stopping too early. If you want to break that cycle, you have to stop measuring your work by the clock. Before you even start to work in a document, open a document, start to do something, you have to understand what is the outcome you have to deliver. That's how you know when the task is done. Stop measuring your work by the clock. Then you can find a new way to measure your value. You have to measure your value by outcomes, not by suffering. Imagine this. Imagine a lumberjack swinging a totally dull axe at a tree for 12 hours non-stop. His hands are bleeding. He truly believes he's the most hardworking person in the whole forest. But another lumberjack takes just 1 hour to sharpen his axe, and then he cuts a tree in 20 minutes. And then a third lumberjack just walks up with a chainsaw and finishes the job in 2 minutes. Now, the first lumberjack gets furious. He thinks that the other guys are cheating because they didn't put effort, they didn't suffer like he did. He is completely trapped in the fairness illusion. He thinks that having bleeding hands entitles him to, you know, get resolved, to be accomplished. But a 2-minute solution can be much better than a 2-week struggle. You see, it's not about your ego. You have to stop getting angry at the person with a chainsaw. You have to start asking them, hey, where did you get that? Nowadays, your chainsaw is artificial intelligence. If I would spend the whole day observing you at your work, I can guarantee you are doing things by hand that you should be delegating to AI. But pay attention here. You can only use artificial intelligence if you train your natural intelligence first. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to cut the tree down faster. You're just going to create a disaster. Stop using the illusion of labor to hide from judgment. There are researchers at the Harvard Business School who actually discovered there is a mental trap called the labor illusion. Labor illusion. I'll give you the link here. The labor illusion happens when people value a result much more because they see there was an effort involved. They found out that people actually prefer those travel websites where you can research for flights. They like more when it takes a little bit longer to find flights, when there is this progress bar proving that it's working really hard. People value the service more because they see an effort happening. You might not realize the connection, but you are probably trying to use this labor illusion on your boss at your work. You take a really simple decision and you drag it out into a stressful, week-long project. Why do you do that? Because you think your boss is going to value more your work when they see you sweating over that job, over that task. But your boss is not a customer waiting for a flight. Your boss is like an investor waiting for a return. Manufacturing all that visible stress is not hard work. It is just a way to hide. You're using the illusion of labor to protect yourself from being judged on the actual outcome. You have to stop putting on this theater of effort. Make the decision quickly and just face the result. If you want a step-by-step framework to help you focus entirely on high leverage outcomes, I highly recommend you visit the link arata.se/intelligence. Take the shortest path to the outcome. Just understanding the theory is not enough. You have to change your execution. Remember the chainsaw. It is not enough to have the strongest tool in your hands and just randomly start cutting anything in front of you. If you do not know the exact target, you can even cause permanent damage. I learned this myself when I was practicing with artificial intelligence agents in the beginning. I'll just go and give a quick command to the AI. The result would appear, I would say it was like an 8 out of 10. But then I decided to spend more time on initial planning, defining exactly what I wanted. Then the result turned out to be 10 out of 10. You have to make it very clear what you are trying to accomplish. You have to treat your own career exactly in the same way. Have you heard of the story of the Gordian knot? It's very interesting. The legend says that whomever could untie this impossibly complex knot would rule all of Asia. So naturally, lots of men spent hours and hours sweating, bleeding, and trying to untangle that knot in the correct way. But then Alexander the Great walked up, looked at the knot, drew a sword, and then just sliced the knot in half. He completely bypassed the game of effort and he played the game of outcomes instead. So instead of feeling productive just because you are constantly busy, start tracking your actual execution rate. The execution rate is the measure of how many declared priorities you actually finish in your life. Did you understand the problem? You see, you have to stop putting on a theater of effort just to hide from being judged on your real results, your outcomes, because, the market only cares about outcomes. You get promoted for being the person with the chainsaw and using it in the right way. So if you're ready to master strategic thinking, if you want to build systems that guarantee results instead of just guaranteeing fatigue, I invite you, come and visit the link karato.se/intelligence, and let's continue over there.